Okay, everyone. We've given folks a few minutes to get on to the session, so we'll kick off our developer meeting hosted by the Mifos initiative. And so we just have a fairly brief agenda today, and we're going to get more into the swing of having a deeper agenda with more in-depth topics and more hands-on showcases at our next developer meeting. But we wanted to make sure we got everyone in the community together once more, and the main focus of this meeting will also be to allow our Google Summer of Code interns to pass along updates based on the first few weeks that they've been coding on the project so far. So the topics we're going to cover before that just include just a brief update on what's happening with Fineract. We'll also go over what's happening on the current development cycle of Mifos X, and then just talk about any questions have in general, and then we'll move into updates from our Google Summer of Code interns. So first off, let's start with our round of introductions, as we typically do. And so you can unmute yourself for the introduction, and then you can mute yourself when you're done. So Adyan, I think you're popping up first for me. Do you want to just introduce who you are, where you're calling from, and what you're working on in the community?
Okay, yeah. So, hi everyone. I am Adhyan. I am from New Delhi, India. Currently, I am in third year of my undergraduate in computer science from Jamiat Millia Islamia, New Delhi, and I am working on the project to create a actionable notification module as my part of my GSOC internship.
Okay, thank you, Adyan, for joining today. And then Anthony, you pop up next. Do you want to briefly introduce yourself? So. You might still be on mute, Anthony. So we'll just, while you're getting unmuted, Denny, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Dennis Frimos.
Okay.
I am from Tanzania. I'm working at ICT Park Solutions Limited. Basically, we are new to Mifos now, and I just try to enter this meeting so that I can get a grasp of what you guys will be doing during the meeting, so that I know where I can attach myself next time.
Okay, well, no, it's great to talk to you for the first time. Dennis, say hello to Stebbins for us, and happy you're able to join the call.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Gaurav, you want to introduce yourself? So.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Gaurav. I have been with Mifos from last 2 years. I started as a Google Summer of Code intern way back 2 years, and my project with community app. So from there I have been contributing on community app mainly, and then this year I've been mentoring Mohit and like Duplex for his community app projects.
Okay, thanks for joining, Gaurav. Second call of the day we've been on together, your evening.
Right.
And Mohit, you want to introduce yourself? So.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I am Mohit from Jammu, India. I have been responsible for the browser-based offline access of the community app as a GSOC intern.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining. And then Nayan, you want to say hello?
Hello everyone. This is Nayan. I work for Conflict Technology, and Conflict is primary business is based on Mifos platform. And at present, I'm mentoring Nikhil for Credit Bureau integration, and I'm joining from Vijaypur, India.
Okay. Oh, what are you doing there in Vijaypur, Nayan?
Just on I come to my hometown.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining today. Nikhil, you want to introduce yourself? And I just have the notes on screen right now.
Yeah, this is Nikhil Pawar. I'm a graduate student at University of Texas at Arlington. I'm a GSOC intern this year. I will be working on credit bureau integration. And currently I'm working from Bangalore, Mifos Technology. That's it.
Thanks, Nikhil. And then Pranjal.
Hello everyone, my name is Pranjal and I'm joining from Bangalore, India. I'm pretty new to the community and I have worked with Nayan as a part of NovoPay earlier on the community app. And I am mentoring a couple projects, one of them being actionable notification system, and the second one is the community app enhancements. So I'm mentoring Adhyan and Duplex.
Thanks, Pranjal. Glad to have you on today.
Thanks.
And then Rajan, can you hear us? I think your audio might not be working, Rajan. It says you're offline. And then Duplex, do you want to give a brief intro to the community?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Duplex Kamdu from Cameroon, a student in GSOC intern at Mifos this year. I am working on the community app enhancement, mentored by Pranjal. And the community app enhancement is just, I have to refactoring the code base and then upgrading the Angular version to 1.5. Also, I have to upgrade the Angular UI to the latest version, migrate the style sheet to use the preprocessor. We are using SAS and Chrome, and I will also have to implement the on-demand loading to the community app. That's
Okay, thanks for that update, Duplex. And then I know Vishwajit, he's able to see our screen, but he's on the Linux version, web version, and unable to hear us. So he's going to try the Android app too. Oh, and hey, Ashok, I see that you're there with, oh wow, you're there with Nikhil. That's good. So yeah, we'll, okay, oh, do you want to introduce yourself, Ashok?
Yeah, hi all, this is Ashok here. I'm currently mentoring Nikhil on credit bureau integration. I work for Complex Technologies and I'm working with Mifos from past 5 years.
Okay, thanks. Glad to have you on as well, Ashok. And then Anthony, your audio is working again?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if you just want to briefly introduce yourself for those on the call.
Okay, my name is Anthony from Omexit, and been trying to work on various projects on Mifos. Yeah, looking forward to complete them.
Okay, yeah, we're looking forward to the completion as well, Anthony. So, and then, do you know where Daniel is? Or?
Daniel.
Yeah.
I don't know why
he was able to join. Okay.
let me Skype him and see. Remind him.
Okay. Yeah, and Duplex, if you could Skype Daniel too. We've got everybody else on except Daniel right now in terms of GSOC. Okay. Yeah, so let's just, we'll move into the agenda. So just on the front of Fineract, where the core team is currently working on is still trying to get that first Apache compliant release out under incubation. And so we did have to address the GPL dependencies that we had that were in violation of Apache before we even could release under incubation. So right now, what Nazir and others on the core team are working on is removing the annotations for Hibernate that are in the Fineract platform such that we can become, Apache compliant. And so once those annotations have been removed, we'll call for a vote again across the general Apache community to do our first release under incubation. And as we discussed previously, this is an important milestone to have an official Fineract release out there that we've followed the Apache processes for, because once the first release is the most painful one, and getting all the documentation, getting all your licensing, and getting everything compliant, and then future releases should be more smooth. So we're eager to get this first release under our belt, and then as we discussed previously, really want to be able to move forward with mobilizing the community and getting everybody contributing to the platform through Fineract on the Apache infrastructure, and making sure we have a vibrant community so we can proceed out of incubation and graduate there. And then in terms of Mifos X, the focus right now of the core team on this quarterly release centers primarily around self-funded groups and primarily on the savings group model. And so right now, the core team is working off of this specification document that I have on my screen right now. And this is completely consuming the core team right now, but we are looking to bring on some additional resources to take up some of the features and enhancements that we had presented as other options for this quarter. But currently the majority of the work is on the savings groups and enabling support for this, as we have a very important pilot project happening with one of our partners in the community. And this will also be a great enhancement that's needed for self-funded group models around the world, so not just saving groups in Africa. And then a couple other items I just wanted to note so the community can get engaged on them are just the fact that we are trying to go through some extensive QA on the current Android client, as we had a lot of functionality added in by our previous outreachy interns, and we haven't yet shipped a stable build of that on the Google Play Store, so our community hasn't been able to take avail of the nice new functionality that's been added in. And so if you're interested in partaking in doing some of the QA or fixing some of the bugs that come up, just go to the GitHub room, and then we have a Gitter chat room for the Android client project as well. And then we also have several members of our community working on updating our data import tool. And so, Nayan, did you want to give any updates on what's happening with the data import tool?
Sure. With the help of Avi, we're able to fix all the critical issues because of which initially we were not able to import data into the latest release. But at least now we can import all the basic entities like clients, centers, group, meetings, then loans, repayments. But I mean, in clients and all, a lot of other additional fields are missing, which were added very recently, like mobile number, date of birth, and all. So all those enhancements, still, if somebody is interested to pick those are very straightforward, easy to do tasks. And then in the loan side, we have we're not supporting all the products, which are for example, if you have interest free calculation, that is not supported. And then and there are some minor issues, the rounding issues. Whenever the repayment is imported, it is getting automatically rounded the nearest integer. So those are the couple of very straightforward open issues are there. If any students want to pick those issues and work, it will be really good.
Okay, thank you, Nayan, for the update on there, and thank you, Avik, for the work you've been doing on that. And so, Nayan, later on, we had the one thread going about some tasks that should be available for some of the volunteers at this Google Serve event, and perhaps we can write down a couple of these tasks related to the data import tool, as they seem like a good fit as small items that could be worked on just during, these brief 1 or 2 day volunteering events. And then likewise, on that front, like we do have some small remaining tasks that we want to have around the surveys framework that we recently added into Mifos. And so one task, centers around just getting more of the surveys converted into, so the PPI surveys converted into the JSON format so they can be read by the survey tool. And so, we'll share the link to the ticket there, but that's something we'd like some help from volunteers across the community, and we'll also be focusing on during the Google Serve Day. And then Gaurav, I'll put you on the spot. Are you able to give an update on what UI we have in place in the community app for the surveys? And then perhaps we can spin up a couple tickets that Googlers or other could pick up to add in the remaining UI screens, because I know we wanted to, have the UI in place to actually be able to create new surveys from the community app. And I'm not sure if Marcus had, enabled that on the back end. So I wanted to have you give a brief update on what is in place for the surveys framework UI. And Gaurav might be offline, so I might not be able to put him on the spot. But that is one area, if you're looking for tasks to assist with, or if you're listening, on this call later on from the community, we'd love to have your help there. So just to update, we have a number of small areas in which you could get involved. So the data import tool, QA on our Android field client, and then also, extending our surveys framework a bit more. And then we do have some just community app enhancements work in general. And so I think, those were the main updates I just wanted to briefly cover on the product development front. And I want to open the floor to any general questions. And then once we get through any general questions, we'll move into allowing our GSOC interns to both give a high-level update on their project as a whole, and then give an update on what they've been working on this past week. Okay, so are there any just general questions about the development community that you would like to cover right now? Okay, so if no general questions, we'll move into going into our GSOC updates. Yeah.
You just recently said that you would be, to be compliant with Apache, we are going to remove the Hibernate annotations. So we're not going to use Hibernate. Is that the case now?
So the reason why I think we're using, and Marcus, or another developer, I think they've posted on the list about it, but I think there's some, areas of the code in our data model we need to clean up, because I think the reason why we're using those Hibernate annotations was just because there is, part of our data model that's not as clean as it could be. And so, we're going to address why we had to use those Hibernate level annotations. And so for at least the Fineract release, we are going to be removing it. For the Mifos X distribution, it might still be there, but I want to defer to Marcus or some of our other technical resources to provide a more thorough answer there, as I know I'm not communicating it properly. And then Nayan or Ashok, if you've been engaged with Nazir or Adi on what they're working with, you could give a better technical answer.
Nikhil, I mean, most likely, I mean, like, no, we'll be like, we'll be moving out of Hibernate. I mean. So obviously, like, no, then we cannot use any Hibernate related annotation.
But thanks for bringing that up, Nikhil. Like, I'll make sure, you know, that Nazir, Adi, or Marcus give a thorough explanation on the Fineract list about, you know, what's happening there. And my apologies that I'm not better able to respond, given my knowledge base.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we'll move into just doing our GSOC updates right now. So I'll bring up the check-in. Oh, yes. Go on, please.
Yeah, I have a question. I have started my implementations with the notification module. So I just want to ask that, like you said, that we won't be using the Hibernate notification. So I shouldn't use that.
Let me make, since it's, you know, impacting directly the work you all are doing, let me, you know, before make any changes, let me make sure Nazir and Adi and Marcus respond with the recommendations there. So Adian and Nikhil, I'll make sure you're both on that thread that we get going soon.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So for our, since we're sort of doing two things on today's meeting, we're both having our community-wide developer meeting, and then we're also allowing our GSOC interns to give their, you know, weekly check-in updates. We'll combine them into one segment here. So for each of our interns, if you could please just give a brief, you know, high-level overview of the project you're working on for the community at large, and then you can also just give the typical weekly update on what you've been working on this past week, what'll be your focus for this upcoming week, and then what blockers have you had, if any, and how you've gotten through them, or, you know, any questions you have about getting unblocked with what's currently in your way. So Adian, I put you first on the list, so we'll let you move ahead with your updates. And you all can type your updates in too, and I'll put some notes in as well.
For a high-level update, I'm working on a actionable notification module, creating an actionable notification module. It can be understood like if a user in an organization creates a new client, then a notification should be sent to an appropriate client for the approval. This is one of the case in which the notification should be generated. Okay, so me and my mentor, we have both decided to break this project into two parts. The first part would be first part is the notification generation and storage, and the second part would be the notification delivery. So currently I'm working on the notification generation and the storage part. So over the first 2 weeks, I have been engaged in designing the notification and storage part of the project, and by iteratively receiving the feedbacks from my mentor and considering all the possible scenarios in which the notifications can be generated. So the design of the data model is complete, which will be used to store the generated notification, and the design of the classes which will be required to perform CRUD operations on the database have also been completed. This was the high-level update of my project and what I have been doing from the past weeks. So in the last week, what I have been doing, I read about the event-driven architecture and the RabbitMQ. And I also considered the scenarios in which the notifications would be generated, like all the scenarios which I can think, and resolve several doubts with my mentor about the design and other doubts which I had related to the design and some other things. And now this week I have started with the implementation of the design. I have already implemented the data model design, and I'm currently working on the implementation of the classes which would be required to perform the CRUD operations on the database. So currently I'm working on that. So this is it I'm working on, and probably next week we will discuss about how we should publish and the notification and the event and the listeners how they should handle that. This is it, and yeah.
Okay, thank you, Adion, for that nice overview and update on this past week's activities. And you're not blocked by anything currently?
Currently not, but just as you said about the annotations part, so
Yeah.
like I will discuss with my mentor or do something with that thing.
Okay, thanks. And then Mohit, you want to jump in?
Yes, Ed. Hello everyone. My project is browser-based offline access, and previous week I was working to make my POC very solid so that we can proceed according to it. I was facing major blocker of offline fallback in my POC, so which I was able to solve it with the help of Gaurav. POC demo can be found online. I will update the link here. This week I have started working on the main community app to make it offline. I've been brainstorming things about which features we need to make it offline. As we know, we can't make whole community app or offline because most admin things are most admin things require internet. So basically, it is all done when it's online. In coming 2 to 3 weeks, I have a target of making community app whole offline because I've been working on service workers right now. I've been facing issue with Grunt to register service workers. So I've discussed with Duplex previous day. Hopefully I'll be able to solve it by today. That's all from my side.
Okay, thank you, Mohit, for that update. And thank you, Garv, for helping get Mohit unblocked. And glad you're, reaching out to Duplex and working together since you all are on the community app. And then unfortunately, Vishwajit still doesn't have audio working, so he's just putting in his update via text. We'll let him continue his update. Okay, Nikhil, do you want to give your update?
Yes, Ed. Like I have almost completed my configuration model. Last week I implemented two additional services. One is like reading and the other one is writing. Those both services would be reading and writing loan product and credit bureau model, credit bureau mappings. And like the second thing which I worked on was like research on high mark integration. I was able to send request and then receive response from Hema. And like the third one is I've changed my design regarding my router module. Currently, like what I'm doing is I'm leveraging the mapping between the loan products and credit bureau, which is already implemented in credit configuration module. I will be using that, and then based on this mappings, what I will be doing is like based on the mappings, I would be simply fetching out the credit bureau. I mean, this mappings will basically store loan products with the credit bureau. So like in this router model, the REST API would be expecting the loan product ID, and then based on these mappings, it will select the credit bureau. And the third one is like I would be starting with the GUI in the next week. I would be starting with the GUI implementations, and I would also be having a design review with my mentors regarding the changes which I have done in the last week. And the last thing is like I would be starting with the documentation of the REST API.
Okay, sounds good, Nikhil. And then we'll also, address the hibernate questions for you, so you're not blocked there.
Yes, that would be a potential blocker for me. Like I've almost implemented the configuration model and I've used annotations heavily in it. Like if there would be any changes, then I would have to like rewrite the configuration model, I think.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll definitely get clarity there. So for at least for the the Apache source code release, we won't be able to use annotations there, but I need to discuss if the Mifos X distribution that we provide to our community, if we'll still keep it in there. Okay, and then
Like put it, I think so. Probably it would be a problem.
and then Rajan, are you still on? I think Rajan might have dropped, so we might have to get his update a bit later on. But Rajan is working on evolving our Android field client from its current version 2.0 status to version 3.0. So he's focused on, refactoring it into a MVP architecture and also, adding in some additional new functionalities and addressing bugs throughout the system and just in general, improving and streamlining the workflows as well. But we'll, have Rajan post his updates to the hackpad later on so the rest of the community can see. And then Daniel, looks like you've been putting your updates here. I'll let you give a brief, verbal overview of what you've been working on. So. And you might still be, I think you're unmuted, Daniel, so maybe try talking, see if we can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hey, Daniel.
Hello. My name is Daniel Carlson, and I'm working on a generic mobile solution for the Mifos platform. So far, I've built the front application, and this week I'm moving to the mobile money engine, which I've been designing and working on with the help of my mentors. By the end of this week, I intend to have finished the documentation for the APIs I'll use for the mobile money engine. And next week, I'll be implementing that API. That's all for now.
Okay. Well, thank you for that update, Daniel. And then, now that you have more of the design of the solution in place, let's also make sure we get a call, scheduled later on with both Adi and Marcus, just to get, their inputs as the technical leads in our community.
Okay.
Okay. And then Duplex, would you like to give an update on what you've been working on in the community app?
Okay. I am working on the community app enhancement project, and the high overview of the project is to take the community app to the next level by improve the performance of the project and the UI. And the UI user, to make the user be more friendly. So after discussing with the mentor, we have broken down the project into 5 parts, which I will mention. I have to upgrade the Angular version of the community app from the 1.2 to 1.5. I also have to upgrade the Angular UI to the latest version, and also have to migrate the style sheet of the community app using preprocessor technology SAS. I will also have to bring the on-demand loading to the community app, which will affect very well the performance of the application. And finally, I will have to migrate all the related version of plugin to match all the components. So the work done so far by Passway, I have already implemented the Angular upgrade to the 1.5 version and fixed almost all the broken component. I also migrate the Angular UI to the latest version and fix the broken component. And I also migrate the style sheet to use as the precursor. So the work to be done is I have to bring the new skin of the community app, which I'm waiting for new mock-up from my mentor before start it. And also I will finish by working on the on-demand loading of the project. That is all for now.
Okay, no, that's a great update. Duplex, sounds like you're making very good progress on all of the items and well on schedule. And then, yeah, looking forward, Pranjal, to seeing the mock-ups of the new UI and skin that Duplex will be implementing. So.
Okay.
And from from the perspective of our mentors, looks like we've got a lot of them on the call today. So do you have anything you'd like to share or pass on to the general community or to our interns? So I'll open the floor to anything that Anthony, Nayan, Pranjal, Ashok, anything you guys have to, or Gaurav, or I think Gaurav dropped, anything you guys have to say right now? So.
Just one thing, Nikhil, I mean, or anybody who's like, doing coding at a data access layer. So don't worry about Hibernate. I mean, like, even if you use Hibernate, like once the core team is migrated from Hibernate to whatever the stack, I mean, like, you can just migrate as like how they do it. So.
Thanks, Nayan, for that update. Pranjal, did you have anything that you would like to share about the mockups you're drafting? Or?
Yeah. So actually, I had a question that Duplex has been working on the community app enhancement and upgrading the version of AngularJS and related components. So my question was, since we are working on this project and there is parallel development happening on the current version, how will we be able to merge it at some later point of time is the question.
Yeah, so I think, are we far enough along with the upgrades that the work that Duplex has already done is stable enough that our other interns could?
There was another question. See, Duplex has already upgraded the Angular version and it all seems to be fine. All the related libraries and components have been upgraded as well. The question is, how do we, because there were no tests written earlier, so either we write the tests now, the unit tests, or how do we do the QA so that we are sure that the new build is, not breaking any existing feature?
Then Nayan, are you, like, based on the QA that Irash and Subramanya are doing, do you know if we've put in like all of the automated tests for the community app? I need to revisit how far along we are in that.
Pranjal, we have automated test cases, but I don't have the coverage, I mean, like, right now. But I should be able to share you the test coverages for the.
So the only thing, I had a look at the new build, and everything seems to work fine because we are loading all the components at the page load. So if there were any conflicts as such, it would have shown in the console. The second thing is the only things that can fail is the directives, the custom directives that have been loaded. So what we would like to do is, even if we have a list of major workflows, we can do it on a QA environment and test it ourselves.
Yeah, sure. Pranjal, just to update, I mean, we're also using the same, QA strategy, like what we had adopted in no bank. So as long as you're not changing the IDs of the element, so
Sure.
the test cases will run. I mean, they should be able to tell you whether.
Great. Okay. So right now, because I was not sure of this, I have not touched the UI components on the current build. So once we are sure of the automated tests, we will go forward by including the new CSS and the new HTML. So I want to make sure that at least we don't break any existing functionality.
Yeah. At least for the last release, I mean, we have almost all the functionalities are covered, so we should be able to test it.
Sure. So can we get on a separate call, or can you just mail me the details about how to go up, how to include these tests, or how to run these automated tests? Are these
Sure.
Are these integration tests or are these unit tests?
No, these are all functionality tests, workflow testing, end-to-end testing.
Okay, sure. Okay, so please share the details about how to run these tests, so I and Duplex can run on our build. And then, I don't want to continue on a fork. I want to merge in the community, the main repository of Mifos. Because running a parallel work is not advisable.
Yeah, sure.
And then, Pranjal, do you think, are we early enough in the work of both Mohit and Adyan that, once we're sure the work that Duplex has done is stable, they can continue their work on the new refactored code base?
Sure.
So, Pranjal,
sorry?
Hello, Pranjal, I have a question for you.
Tell me.
I've been working with the making community app offline, and Duplex is upgrading the CSS file to SCSS.
Yeah.
So when I will merge the code, it will totally affect the feature?
Not actually. See, what you see, this SCSS is a dev time thing. Okay, so we use SAS for development, but in the end, the build that we give is always a CSS, right? So you will be, in fact, at the client side, you will be storing only the CSS. Instead of the numerous CSS files that you have right now, you might have only one or maximum two CSS files that you need to store. So that won't change.
Okay. Will it affect any more feature that you think?
No. So see, what we will be changing essentially is the styling, right? The number of files or the name of the files won't be changing. So I think, in my experience, your code won't have to change much.
Will be like a layer on the community app.
No, see, your offline caching will work only on the build, right? And whatever we are changing is on the dev tooling side. So if you are concerned about use of SAS, it's just a developer's dependency, right? So the dist folder that you create after running grunt build will have only CSS and the same HTML files, right? Only the contents might change, but what you are storing at the client will the files that you are storing will remain the same, right?
Okay. Ed, I have a question for you. I had asked you to discuss about the Jira ticket. I have put up the thread. We can have some time and discuss what features we have to make offline.
Yeah. I saw your post to the mailing list. Mohit, and we'll hopefully get some responses. But if we don't get many from the community, we'll just start with what we know are the primary, use cases that should be able to be supported offline. So, yeah. So just if there's a specific time you'd like to talk on this, just propose it and send the calendar invite, and then we'll get on a call.
Okay. Thank you, Pranjal.
Yeah, thank you, Pranjal. And I know since you're working with Adyan, you're probably making sure that he's not blocked in any way. So,
no, so with Adyan's project, the thing is that right now we are spending more time on design.
The back end.
Okay. The back end. Because, once that is done and we are satisfied with the implementation, the implementation on the client side will take only 20% of the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah. So for now, his work is focused on the back end. Yes.
Okay. And then, are we building it as we discussed before?
Yes.
Pranjal, such that other systems like the Android app or whatever app could pick up the notifications from the queue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Pranjal, for making sure everybody's able to work in parallel without any conflicts. It's great to have your guidance and leadership over those community app level projects.
It's an honor for me.
Okay, everybody. This was a good call, and this session was recorded, so we'll send it out to the mailing list so the broader community can listen to these updates, and then I'll also include the link to the notes we've taken. But thank you again to all of our GSOC students. I know that our midterm evaluations are coming up pretty soon. Seems like time's flying really quickly, like we only just began, but I guess we are getting pretty close to midterm evaluations. And I know Google's been sending emails on them, and then we'll coordinate with the mentors on getting those evaluations in place. But everybody's doing a good job so far, and then we'll get the update from Rajan and post it in the document. But keep up the good work, and we'll keep following your updates to our check-in mailing list. So have a good rest of your Thursday, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.